Hi everyone, this is the first video for the PFA called Polynomial Functions. And this first part of the PFA is going to be about multiplying polynomials. So in class and our checkpoints, remember, we have been using the box method, and we've been using it to go from a standard form into a factored form. Factored form has these two parentheses. In the PFA, we're going to show you how you can do the reverse. So taking a factored form and going to a standard form. And the whole point being just showing different representations that are the same polynomial. Okay, so we're still going to use the box method. It still should look very familiar. So this first problem is saying, this should be the first problem, is saying 2x minus 3, and then the second parenthesis is x minus 4. So just like we were pulling out these blank spots to make our parentheses, we're going to put these parentheses in our blank spots. So for example, 2x minus 3, I'm going to put that in this first blank spot. So 2x and then a minus 3. I'm going to get rid of the line. And then on the side, I'm going to put x minus 4. So over here, I'm going to put x, and then I'm going to put a minus 4. Okay, so that's how you're going to start. Whatever your parentheses are, put those in the correct spot on the blank line. Next, we need to fill out these 4 boxes. Remember, before we were given the 4 boxes, and then we found these missing lines. So we're just kind of working backwards, right? So to fill out this first box, you need to look at, what if you multiply 2x and x? What would that give you? What would 2x and x give you? Well, 2x and x, give me one second, will give you 2, and then x times x is x squared. So 2x squared. Okay. Next, you need to look at, okay, what if I did negative 3 times x, right? It's just where these blank lines are crossing, you're going to multiply them together. So negative 3 times x is going to be a negative 3x. Okay, let's do 2x times negative 4. 2x times a negative 4 is going to be a negative 8x. So that's going to be a negative 8x. Okay, let's do this last box, right, where it's going to be negative 3 and negative 4. There's no x's involved. So negative 3 times negative 4 is a positive 12. Remember, I'm going to write these lines so you can see everything. 2 negatives make a positive. So negative 3 times negative 4 is a negative 12. Okay, so now what do we do? Remember, we're trying to get a standard form, which is just like one long string of our terms. So we're just going to pull these out. The first thing I'm going to pull out is the 2x squared. And that's going to go over here in this box, 2x squared. And then we're going to pull out, we're going to go in order. So my next one is going to be minus 3x. Minus 3x. Then I have a minus 8x. And then lastly, I have a positive 12. So here's my standard form. The only thing is just make sure you can simplify it as much as possible. So, what terms can you combine? And just be careful. They have to have the same letter and the same exponent. So for example, you cannot combine 2x squared and 3x because this first one is squared, the second one is not. You could not combine 8x and 12 because one has the x, one doesn't. But what you could combine here is a negative 3x minus 8x, right? Negative 3 minus 8. If you would put that in your calculator, what is negative 3 minus 8? You are going to get a negative 11 and make sure that x is still there. So this, when you take the content assessment, this would be the final answer. So just make sure it's the most simplified version of your equation, okay? Next, let's look at, this will be problem 2. And it says negative 2n plus 4 squared. Now I don't see my 2 parentheses, but it's being squared. So what we're going to do, it's the same thing, but we're just going to put in negative 2n and 4. And let me get rid of these lines so we can actually see the negative sign. Negative 2n and 4, and then we're just going to put it again on the side because it's squared. So we just want it twice. Negative 2n and 4. So you may see a problem like this where the parenthesis is squared. That just means you're putting the same thing at the top and as the same thing on the side. Okay? All right, let's do it. So for this box, and I'll use my little pen again. Whoops. Maybe not. So we're looking at negative 2n and negative 2n. So negative 2 times negative 2 is a positive 4. Let's go in this first box. And we have 2n, so it's n squared. Next, we have 4 times negative 2n. 4 times negative 2 is a negative 8. And then we have that n. My third box here is going to be negative 2n and 4. Again, it's right. It should be the same thing again, which is negative 8n. And then last, we have 4 times 4, which is a positive 16. Let's pull out these boxes in order. First comes 4n squared. Next comes negative 8n. Then we pull out the last two, negative 8n again, and then a positive 16. Look at where you can combine. It's just a hint. It's always going to be these middle terms you can combine because the first and the last are different. So negative 8 minus 8. Put it in your calculator. That's going to be a negative 16n. This would be your final answer on Summit. Okay, so this will be about 2 or 3 questions you see on the content assessment. And then what I wanted to say is I've made extra boxes for you. So on the study guide and practice work, if you go to slides 5 and 6, I have just blank boxes. So if you get a question like this, you can use these slides to fill in what the problem is and then use the box method to get your answer. Okay? So good luck.